All right, welcome everybody to the panel on driving blockchain adoption with Daos and tokenization. And today I'm joined by two really awesome folks who are driving a ton of adoption of the Cardano blockchain and having very cool projects. So we'll start out with a few quick intros. I'm Logan. I'm a co-founder of Clarity, and we build community management infrastructure. And this is Patrick.
This is Patrick. Yeah, I'm very happy to be here. It's a very unfortunate timing with the happy hour happening right now, but maybe you can just bring some people, get them to drink here instead of over there. But no, anyways, I'm very, very happy to be here. I'm the founder of NMKR, maybe as context. I've been in Cardano for 4 years now, and we make a lot of tokens, and that's it.
And I'm Nathaniel Minton. I'm the CEO of FluxPoint Studios, Incorporated. We produce competitive gaming products as well as AI solutions. And we're about a year old right now, and we have a flagship product that's already out on Epic Game Store with over 10,500 downloads. And we're happy to say the community is already involved in the development of that, and we're going to talk about some of that today.
Cool. So one of really cool thing that we have an announcement about today is a collaboration between Clarity and InMaker. So we have integrated with InMaker's APIs to allow people to go from 0 to 1, from not having an organization to having an on-chain treasury without having any technical knowledge. And that's been really, really fun to do. Now, one of the biggest things that we're announcing today are DAOs in Japan. So over the last handful of months, InMaker, Clarity, and Emergo have been working closely with representatives in Japan to formalize and legislate around DAOs as an organizational structure. So Patrick, you were in Japan. Can you expand on it a little bit?
Yes, for sure. So essentially what's happening in Japan right now is very interesting because the Japanese government is basically making DAOs a legal form for companies, right? So you can actually start a DAO in Japan and it's legally recognized by the government, which is a huge step for Japan. They really want to get more into crypto and Web3 again. And what we are doing essentially is we are part of the Japanese DAO Foundation. So Clarity, NMaker, and Emergo are part of that. And we are preparing our tools to become the #1 standard for DAO tooling in Japan. So we all translated everything into Japanese, and we worked with Emergo to make it accessible to everyone. And what we're doing specifically is we essentially say, okay, let's start a proof of concept DAO in Japan. Let's start a Japanese house DAO. So essentially, let's take a house, buy it, and make a DAO around it. So anyone can participate in that DAO and have fractional ownership over this house. So we're working on that, which is very exciting. Maybe I went ahead with that. Sorry for that. But so I spent some time in Japan with Emergo and with Clarity, and we've talked to government folks and to the Japanese DAO Foundation, and we're really, I think, on a good track to make all of this happen.
Yeah, so essentially to sum that up, right now, if you scan that QR code over there, you can submit interest to be an investor that will own property in Japan on the Cardano blockchain, governed by a DAO that operates on the Cardano blockchain. And this is just a proof of concept. Clarity's also doing this with Goki, with land in Colorado. There's a camping ground that's owned and operated by a DAO. And we're starting to see more ideas of maybe a DAO should, co-own some real estate in Costa Rica. So this whole idea of these revenue-producing assets that can be communally owned in a transparent fashion is really taking off. So the next thing I want to talk about is FluxPoint Studios. This is another super exciting use case for this new organizational structure. And you see a ton of gaming around. So Nathan, I'm going to kick it over to you. Tell us about why DAOs are important, how FluxPoint Studios is using a DAO structure, and what are the advantages of it?
Absolutely. So I actually have a little note card because some of these updates I want to talk about that happened in traditional gaming have completely destroyed their fan base and loyalty of some of the gamers. And one of them specifically was Uncharted 2. They had an update, 1.05 title update. And out of nowhere, all of a sudden, the players were incredibly easy to kill. And they went down much easier. Basically, just nerfed everything. The update had, shown a lot of promise with the community, and then the devs just made this decision, move forward with it, and ultimately it flopped. And I'm not going to read off the laundry list of updates I have here that outline these types of use cases, but it's very, very prevalent. I myself experienced it as a professional World of Warcraft player. Let's face it, Blizzard Activision really didn't care what I had to say about, what classes were stronger than others and what needed updates. They pretty much did what they wanted, right? And whatever would line their pockets a little bit better. But we've done a lot of research, and what we're finding is when you invite your players in your community into the development process much sooner, then it often correlates to higher returns. Why is that? They automatically feel part of something much bigger than themselves. Any time that you can leverage that emotional connection, there's going to be the deepest kind of connection that there is, which is they're willing to open their wallet for you, right? So not only are we enhancing the gaming experience by having our players come, play the game, make decisions and vote for different abilities, different maps, if something's too strong and it needs to be changed, etc. And then they feel personally connected to that. But then they're able to see it tangibly. That deepens the connection from them to the game, and then they're willing to spend more of their disposable income because they feel like they're directly shaping it and they have a hand in the development decisions.
Yeah, that's awesome. When I was introduced to this concept, I thought it was cool. You have these super fans that play your game all the time, and they're coming in and they're able to vote on, what maps get released, what characters get released, what weapons are put in the game, what traits come out, and it's a really cool way to engage and manage a community. And I think that's the big point that why DAOs are important is there's all these different types of entities, whether it's a community around a DREP, whether it's a nonprofit in the donor community around it, whether it's a sports organization in the fan base around it. There's all these entities that need to and will find a competitive advantage if they can properly align and incentivize the community around what they're doing. So that's really cool, which brings me to the next topic, which is really exciting, is the ability to bring a professional soccer club to operate a DAO for their fan base onto Cardano. And this is something we have signed ahead of terms. So we have the agreement in place. We just need a little help getting it over the line from the Cardano community. So if you're interested in learning more about that, let me know. But essentially how this works is we work with NYCFC, which is a professional soccer club. And as part of the agreement with them, what we get is a launch party. They just built a new stadium. So we're going to onboard 40 core members of their fan base at this launch party. And what we're able to do is get those core members in, and then they can keep talking to the other fan bases, to other fans, to bring them into the community. And then after that, there's a huge list of prizes that the community also gets, whether it's tickets to a Messi game or it's box season tickets or anything like that. If you contribute to the community and do the incentives that the club puts out, you'll be able to be rewarded for it. So I want to hand it over to Patrick a little bit. Can you just talk about how is NMKR driving real-world adoption? I know you guys are doing a ton of different stuff. Which things would you like to highlight?
Oh, that's a very difficult question. We're really doing a ton of different stuff. I mean, for us, NMKR thrives when we have projects that are building on top of NMKR, that are using NMKR, and they are successful, right? So it's not really about us, being successful, but about us supporting other projects, right? So, for example, with this whole NYCFC DAO Foundation kind of stuff, it's essentially about helping them establish a closer connection with their community, with their fan base, right? And then they see the value of a DAO, they see the value of NFTs, they see the value of crypto, and they get better because of crypto. And that's kind of the projects that I'm looking after or looking to onboard, right? So, for me, my favorite project is always Book.io, because I think they have nailed this concept of true ownership in the digital world, where you actually buy the book, you own the book, and then you're also part of this like book community, instead of just knowing the author from his Instagram page or something like that. And these are the projects that I want to onboard. And the same thing with, of course, the whole Japanese DAO situation, where we want to essentially connect real ownership over housing, over property, with DAOs and with NFTs that give you ownership over that. I think that's one of the biggest things we could potentially do, and I'm extremely excited for that. And that's just a few things that we're involved in. We're launching a lot of real-world assets. We're helping a lot of projects recently come to Cardano. We worked with the FC Barcelona. Unfortunately, it didn't get funded through Catalyst, but hopefully next time. So I'm still there working with them, and I'm very excited for just being able to talk to that many great businesses and companies even about Cardano and explain the concepts to them, right?
Awesome. And I'm going to toss it over to Nathan again. So can you tell us, where can I play with FluxPoint Studio games? How does it work, and how do you guys use the Clarity platform?
Yeah, so you could play here, but Tribe is our flagship competitive shooter right now, and it's available for download on Epic Game Store, and it's also going live at this event on Reflect Studios platform. And those are just two different publishers now that we have the game on. Much more to come. But what's really cool about Tribe is the fact that we have already demonstrated the power of DAOs in gaming. Our community has named all three of our beginning characters. They came up with the names. They voted for them. They've came up with their special Q abilities that add depth and strategy to the combat. And now, since we've implemented it and we've seen the results of the proposal, and now they have that tangibility, now they can, what we're about to do is do a follow-up, kind of like a post-mortem proposal, and say, hey, is this too OP? Is it too overpowered? Does it need to be brought down a little bit? Do we need to increase the cooldown? Whatever. And the community can vote on that. So they're ultimately having a hand in the development, and then if something gets out of hand, they can course correct it. And we have a lot of big plans with Clarity, and also, we launched a mint here today with NMKR, and so there's actually a special edition Rare Evo skin. And what we're doing basically is those assets, we're using NMKR to put them in the game, and then we're using Clarity to vote and to gamify the governance experience. You can get assets from created on NMKR through your proposals. So if you get enough rewards for voting on things and taking governance actions within Clarity, then you get a certain amount of rewards, and then you can redeem them for an asset that you can then use in game. So we're gamifying that governance experience. Furthermore, Tribe will very soon. We're working with Clarity to make sure that we can implement their SDK into Tribe. So we never break the gamer's immersion. We never break the user's experience. In marketplaces, the marketplace will all be in game. You'll use a game UI to submit transactions, rent out your NFTs, buy them, etc. To take governance actions and vote, you will see proposals in the game's UI. Web 2 gamers that have no idea they're interacting with the blockchain can still vote on proposals because they are using an in-game currency that they see, right? in their UI, and they are voting on the proposals that then the API is communicating and submitting those transactions on chain. But we never take them outside of the game to complete any of those things.
Enjoying the event? Fire up that wallet and delegate your ADA to Rare Stake Pool. For over 3 years, Rare has been committed to providing high-quality staking services. And we're now Chang Hard Fork ready. Thank you for your support.
Yeah, I think to comment on that is, one thing I know me and Patrick have talked about a lot is if we want to get to where we want to get, we have to bring people from outside of blockchain into it, from outside of Cardano into it. So I think the next thing I want to talk about is a few other things that Clarity is doing in order to do that. So I talked about all those different use cases, the nonprofits with donor communities, the marketing agencies that have all these clients that, hey, we're interested in Web3, but we have no idea how to get started. You know, we talk to the people who own the marketing agency. We say, hey, yeah, here's a full service system where you can mint tokens. Thank you, NMKR. Where you can have governance to get rapid feedback from your community. Here's a system where you can incentivize the exact actions that you want done by your community, and you can give rewards for incentivizing that. So we're working with, you know, not only projects in Cardano, but also content creators that have these huge subscriber communities around them with these, like I said, marketing agencies that have all these clients looking to get their feet wet into Web3. And it's all about making this user experience seamless so that even if it is someone that, you know, doesn't have a Cardano wallet, you can tell them, you just download this app and then you go here, and then you're able to contribute to the community. I'll give the option for closing thoughts. I think we pretty much covered our agenda for today.
I mean, I just want to highlight what you just announced, like here on stage, because it's kind of a lot of stuff, right? Japanese house DAO, insane, right? Absolutely amazing. Integration with NMKR, which is also really cool, of course, for me, but also for everyone else, because they can start their own DAO on Clarity without ever having to go to NMKR, right? It's all white labeled. And then also, of course, FluxPoint Studios. So I think that's 3 really big things for Clarity. So, you know, I'm very excited for you guys, and, you know, obviously very excited for everything that we're doing together as well.
Yeah, and I just want to say, like, it couldn't have aligned perfectly when I met Logan and we started talking about like what Clarity had in mind and what they wanted to do. I was like, oh my gosh, this is like a perfect like alignment of vision and goals. And so really like we're gonna put Tribe on the map as one of the most community oriented and engaged competitive games that there is. And I think it's going to catch fire. Other people are going to catch on real quick and see the benefits of this. And you're going to see a lot of like big investors with big money start saying like, hey, maybe there is an alternative instead of just extracting as much liquidity out of our players as possible, and instead focus on enhancing their gaming experience. And then they willingly want to contribute instead of microtransacting the hell out of them. And I couldn't be happier to have, you know, tried out NMKR's platform with the launch here. So that's an amazing platform, and we've had a great experience so far. And we just can't wait to see, you know, what we can build with both of these partners. Super exciting.
Yeah, I mean, DAOs are this concept where the way I like to think about it is, you know, in 1977, Wyoming formalized the LLC. In 2021, they formalized the LLD. So this is the next generation of organizational structures. And I really believe that in the future, when entrepreneurs create companies, when entrepreneurs or when a group of people come together to start something, they will incorporate as a DAO. And this builds towards our vision of why we're here, because we want businesses to be built on the blockchain. We want a transparent record-keeping system and accountability. We want self-sovereign identity. We want all of these different things. So what we have to do is keep driving adoption. And that's it. Thank you guys for coming, and thank you guys for listening. We have a booth over there. Always happy to hang out.
Rare Evo 2025 tickets are on sale now. Save big General admission passes are discounted to $250, and VIP passes are only $800. Join us August 7th through 9th, 2025 at Caesars Palace, Las Vegas. Hurry, only 30 days left to save. Visit rareevo.io and buy your tickets now.